Thank you, Tamara. What a wonderful, energetic introduction to our service this morning. I'm Samuel Schaal, Transition Minister of First Unitarian Church here in Orlando, and thrilled to be with you on this glorious, bright, sunny spring morning as we honor all of those involved in the religious education programs and ministries of our church. With me today is Sarah Gray, our religious educator, Tamara, whom you've already heard, Aubrey Connelly-Candelario, our music director, and special guest Allison from Religious Education, and a few others. So it's good to have all here today. If you're new among us, we especially want to give you a warm welcome and hope you come back often to the videos of worship that we have online. Go to orlandouu.org, our website, and look at the many online activities we have and the history of the church and much of the things that hopefully will draw you to us. We're glad you're here today. After worship today, there are actually two events following. At 11:30, there's our usual informal worship that'll be on a separate Zoom link that you were sent in the various media. That one requires a password that you were also sent in Friday's email e-blast. We use the same password, incidentally, for each Sunday's fellowship. So if you know what the password was last week, you're good to go for today. And at 12 noon, there is the first of 4 question and answer sessions with our finance committee on the budget for the next fiscal year that we'll vote on in a couple of weeks on May 17th in our congregational meeting. For the link to that meeting, email financecommittee@orlandouu.org. Other meetings are this week, Tuesday at 7 p.m., Thursday at 12 noon, and next Sunday before worship at 9:30 a.m. Do check our website for the many activities and your e-blast this week. Keep up with what's going on in church. And today we have with us Dan Homblett with the Dream Team update on our sanctuary renovation. Dan.
Hi, this is Dan Homblett with the Completing the Dream team. This production comes to you from the Homblett Home Studios. Thank you, Kathy Homblett. Just want to provide you a quick update on the sanctuary project. The planning, permitting, and design are basically done. We're working very closely with MPAL, and they've been fantastic through this whole process. This week we are about to sign the contract for the construction phase, and then we can move forward right into construction later this month. We wanted to let you know that if we don't use the contingency for the project, and we've been very good about that over the previous remodeling, we will be able to implement several things within the sanctuary that are above and beyond the original scope. So we'll be improving the sound, we'll be improving the audio, video components of the production elements of the project, making improvements to the bathroom, and making improvements to the foyer. We'll keep you posted on that as we proceed. Project should start late May, should be done by late July or early August. I want to let you also know that there'll be a moving out project or event coming up. We'll need some assistance with that, and practicing all good safety protocol, we'll let you know more details. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Dan. To make an offering to our church, go to the website, orlandouu.org, and in the upper right-hand corner of the screen, there's a donate button, or you may text your gift to 407-456-7082, or the old-fashioned way still works, send a check to the church. Speaking of giving, our generosity campaign continues. We've heard from about 2/3 of you making financial commitments, your pledge for the next fiscal year. This week, we're sending out confirmation letters of pledges, and we want to thank you for your continuing support, especially in these tumultuous times. Now, let's gather our hearts in worship, beginning in song.
Touch the earth, reach the sky, walk on shores while spirits fly, over the ocean, over the land, our faith a quest. Children ask the reason why. In our lives the answer show, and by our love they learn and grow. Touch the earth, reach the sky, soar with courage ever high. Spirits joining as we fly, to touch the earth, to reach the sky.
Thank you, Aubrey. And I say with me our familiar words as we light the chalice. In the light of truth and in the warmth of love, we gather to seek, to sustain, and to share. And now we commemorate the joys and concerns for the week. Today in our worship, we'll be honoring our 4 high school graduating seniors, and we want to keep them in joyful thought. And the Caring Circle wants also to know of any other high school and college graduations in your families or that you know of. So please continue to give the Caring Circle advance notice when your young adults are graduating high school or college. Speaking of graduates, Joe Donatone, a member of the church who is studying for the ministry, graduates next month from Iliff School of Theology in Denver with a Master of Divinity degree. He's completing his ministerial internship right now at Tri-County Unitarian Universalist in Summerfield, Florida. Jenny is in Kansas City helping her mother through surgery after a fall, and she plans to return to Orlando soon. Jenny is the contact for Caring Circle in May, and until Jenny gets back, Linda will take those requests. And in these difficult days, we continue to remember all of those who are helping others, and especially those who are needing help. So now we take these times of our lives into a time of mindfulness. And as always, let's relax, be aware of our bodies as they're sitting and wherever we are. Together, let's take a deep and cleansing breath. Mindful of our connections with each other and with all. In a moment, we'll have a spoken meditation and prayer, but first, let's sing.
When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we trust the wisdom in each of us, every color, every creed and kind, and we see our faces in each other's eyes, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we tell our story from deep inside, and we listen with a loving mind, and we hear our voices in each other's words, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, we are blessed with love and amazing grace. When our heart is in a holy place, when we share the silence of sacred space, and the God of our hearts stirs within, and we feel the power of each other's faith, then our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place, when our heart is in a holy place, We are blessed with love and amazing grace when our heart is in a holy place. When our heart is in a holy place.
As we enter this holy place of our hearts, we breathe, we open, we accept the power of our faith and spirit individually and as community. And we listen for the call across the thresholds of today toward our future. For we are part of a larger, evolving reality called forward into a new and at times scary and different, but even in these days, promising future. Spirit of life, mystery beyond our knowing, we celebrate the new doors opening for our young people today. We celebrate the new doors opening for all of us, for we all are growing, if not in body, then in spirit, compassion, and service to each other. We are part of a wider evolutionary force of unfolding, complexification, and change, called forth by life, energy, beauty, wisdom, the impenetrable mysteries of creation and co-creation. We celebrate all those in our community in these days who help us, the healthcare professionals, the grocery store clerks, the first responders, so many more, all those providing essential services to us. And we are reminded of the struggles of our business communities, businesses small and even not so small, who create the products and services we need and who help create the wealth that blesses all. We remember all those who are hurting in any manner of body, mind, or spirit. We affirm that we each have agency in doing what we can to help, to affirm, to bless the world in all its beauty and ambiguity. And so, with the private meditations of our hearts, we enter the silence together. And so it is. Blessed be. Amen.
Good morning. I'm Sarah Gray, Interim Coordinator of Religious Education here at First Unitarian Church of Orlando. Today marks our annual Religious Education Sunday service, as well as the end of our program year. So this was my first year on this job. I began this role as coordinator on October 1st, which was a few weeks after the program year had begun. And I was very, very blessed as I started this position, as the groundwork for a successful, engaging year of religious education had already been laid by our church's tireless, dedicated, and talented RE committee: Michelle, Jock, Kathleen, Richard, Rhonda, Cindy, Mike, and Kat. We all owe these folks a huge debt of gratitude for showing up and doing the work to recruit volunteers, select curriculum, set up a schedule, and get the teachers trained before our program year began last September. This has been a really fun and successful year of religious education. Together with our Laredo consultant, Michelle Grove, we did a lot of hard work together to lay the foundation for a strong RE program now and in the future. A new door was opened for religious education this year, and I'm so proud of what we all accomplished together as a church as we crossed this threshold. Another unexpected new door opened quite suddenly 7 weeks ago as we were ushered into this new era of social distancing. Suddenly, like everything else in our lives, RE got turned on its head as we were no longer able to gather in the physical space in our church. So we've had to adapt rather quickly to gathering in an online space. And I miss seeing all of you so much on a weekly basis, but I'm also so grateful that the technology exists so we can gather in this new way. Despite the distance, the spirit of the RE community at First Unitarian is still strong. Today, let's take some time to thank our dedicated RE teachers, to commemorate the bonds of community and learning among our children and youth, and take special time to celebrate our graduating seniors as they cross the threshold from childhood to adulthood to make their mark on the world. We begin this by reading a story about a child who, through the power of encouragement, learned how to make and follow her own mark. The Dot by Peter H. Reynolds. Art class was over, but Vashti sat glued to her chair. Her paper was empty. Vashti's teacher leaned over the blank paper. "Ah, a polar bear in a snowstorm," she said. "Very funny," said Vashti. "I just can't draw." Her teacher smiled. "Just make a mark and see where it takes you." Vashti grabbed the marker and gave the paper a good strong jab. There. Her teacher picked up the paper and studied it carefully. She pushed the paper towards Vashti and quietly said, "Now sign it." Vashti thought for a moment. "Well, maybe I can't draw, but I can sign my name." The next week, when Vashti walked into art class, she was surprised to see what was hanging above her teacher's desk. It was the little dot she had drawn. Her dot, all framed in swirly gold. I can make a better dot than that." She opened her never-before-used set of watercolors and set to work. Vashti painted and painted. A red dot, a purple dot, a yellow dot, a blue dot. The blue mixed with the yellow. She discovered she could make a green dot. Vashti kept experimenting, lots of little dots in many colors. If I can make little dots, I can make big dots too. Vashti splashed her colors with a bigger brush on bigger paper to make bigger dots. Vashti even made a dot by not painting a dot. At the school art show a few weeks later, Vashti's mini dot made quite a splash. Vashti noticed a little boy gazing up at her. "You're a really great artist. I wish I could draw," he said. "I bet you can," said Vashti. "Me? No, not me. I can't draw a straight line with a ruler." Vashti smiled. She handed the boy a blank sheet of paper. "Show me." The boy's pencil shook as he drew his line. Vashti stared at the boy's squiggle, and then she said, "Please, sign it." So author Peter H. Reynolds says that the dot is about getting started, getting unstuck. It is also about creative teaching, exploring an idea in many ways, and sharing our gifts with others. Let's take a moment to honor and thank our more than 30 teachers, assistants, volunteers, and special guests who shared their gifts with our children and youth this year, and encourage them to make their own marks in their own religious education journey. The RE program simply would not have happened without their support. And now, enjoy some highlights from our program year. As you can see, we had a really exciting, fun-filled year, and it wouldn't have happened without the help and support of the congregation. I want to take a quick second for a special thank you to Kathleen for documenting our year in pictures, and to Kat, who worked so hard over this last week to compile this video and the video following of our seniors. Now we welcome one of our graduating seniors, Cammie, to perform our anthem for today.
Good morning. My name is Allison Larson, and I'm one of the young adult leaders here at 1U. We will now highlight our seniors and show a video honoring the class of 2020. Our thoughts are with you as you make this transition to adulthood during this time of uncertainty, and we are excited to see what your future has in store.
Hi, I'm Cammie, and I've been coming to this church pretty much my whole life. It has been and always will be an important part of who I am. I've taken some form of Sunday school classes every year, whether it was the OWL, Our Whole Lives curriculum, or just a religious education class with a specific topic like world religions. I remember this church was where I made a lot of friends throughout the years, and went on adventures, including the gazebo just a few blocks away when I was in preschool, zip lines when I was a freshman, and to Alabama to see the history of the civil rights era when I was a sophomore, just to name a few. We also had some youth group events at church, like a spaghetti dinner for families, a talent show where there were instrumentalists, tap dancers, and singers, and lock-ins where we would bond and strengthen our relationships. Over these past years, I've also gotten even more involved in Unitarian Universalism. I went to General Assembly in Kansas City, Missouri for the first time 2 years ago, and last year in Spokane, Washington, but as part of the youth staff junior business manager. This year, GA will be 100% online, but I'll still be the senior business manager. Even though I'm transitioning into a young adult, I will not leave Unitarian Universalism behind. In fact, I'd like to get even more involved at whatever congregation I end up going to. As many of you probably already know, I decided that I'll be attending Florida Gulf Coast University in the fall. It is located southwest of here, about 3 hours away in Fort Myers. There are 2 UU congregations down there, so I plan to check them out. I will be majoring in music therapy and continue participating in church actively, just in any phase of my life. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Miriam. My husband Paul and I, along with our daughter Julie, have been members of 1U since October 2002. Julie is a senior this year at Lake Mary High School. She spent the majority of her childhood competing on a sports team, first in gymnastics for 6 years, and most recently as a member of her high school cheerleading team for the last 3. One of the most lasting memories Julie will have of these experiences will be how important teamwork is. Her cheerleading team at Lake Mary has earned the state championship title for the last 4 years. Each one of these talented girls knows that this does not happen overnight. It is a result of hard work, dedication, and commitment toward achieving the same common goal. They also realize the role each of their teammates play in order to deliver the best performance possible. The same can be said about families and the part your parents have had in helping you to grow into the person you are today. Mom and dad are a team too. Julie knows that her mom and dad have always been her biggest cheerleaders. We have wanted her to feel secure and loved unconditionally, and to remember that kindness always matters. Now, I just want to say a few words to all of our seniors, Cammie, Katie, Trevor, and Julie, about how your senior year is ending. No pandemic will ever erase how proud your parents and your families are of you and your accomplishments. Although the celebrations may look different than usual ones, they are no less special. And years from now, when you're getting ready to celebrate the graduation of a child or a grandchild, the history lesson that you'll be able to provide them will also be one that builds empathy. And now I'd like to share a poem with you. It's called Prayer for Bridging. As the child leaves the doorstep, the parent prays, "Please keep my child safe and give me the courage to let them go out to explore the world." The child prays, "Watch over my parents while I'm gone and help them believe that I really know what I'm doing." The grandparent prays, "Thank you for this precious gift twice given. Let me remember that my child and my grandchild is each their own person, and let them remember that my door is always open. Blessed be and amen."
Hello, I'm Katie Peabody, and I'm a senior in youth group graduating from Haggerty High School. I have been a Unitarian Universalist since I was born. I went to UUFG, which is the Unitarian Universalist Fellowship of Gainesville, where I had my child dedication ceremony. When we moved to Oviedo, we attended Triple U, and then 1U, where we have been for 9 years now. Over the last few years, I have learned many things, met new people, and gone to many places with the church. When I was a freshman in 2016 to 2017, we went to the ropes course as a bonding activity for the youth group. I just remember having a lot of fun with all the other teens and Mrs. Regina. While we were incoming sophomores in 2017, we did a civil rights trip to Jordan, Alabama. Those 4 days of the trip taught me so much about history, people, and the state. It was amazing to go and see what I had learned about in history classes and make the connections between the events that occurred there. From 1U blueberry festivals as Princess Blueberry to pride parades and Christmas pageants as a camel to planning zombie proms, youth group has been one of the best experiences of high school. In the fall, I will be attending Seminole State College to study athletic training and sports medicine. Hopefully, I will attend the University of Florida to finish and get my bachelor's degree. Then, I want to continue at UF for grad school to become a doctor of athletic training. I'm planning on still coming to 1U while living in Orlando, but when I am in school at UF, I hope to attend UUFG. Being a Unitarian Universalist is who I am now and what I want to keep as my religion forever. I've made long-lasting friendships and learned valuable lessons. I will miss my friends after they leave for college, but I will remain connected to them. Thank you to everyone that has helped me grow up into who I am today.
I'm Trevor Semino, a 16-year-old student pilot and graduating senior from DeLand High School's International Baccalaureate program. Next year, I'll be attending Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University, double majoring in aeronautics and aviation law, and minoring in meteorology. I love flying, music, theater, and spending time outdoors. I discovered my true passion on my 10th birthday when my parents surprised me with my first general aviation flight and a Piper Cub. After that flight, I knew that I wanted to become a pilot and pursue a career in the aviation industry, and since then I have worked tirelessly to turn that dream into a reality. Now, I am incredibly fortunate to have discovered my passion so early on in life, and for the many opportunities that I've had. Sometimes a graduating senior doesn't know, and that's okay. Perhaps you start down one path and later change your mind and choose a different one. That's okay too. Think back to when you were 17 or 18 and just graduating high school. That feeling of uncertainty, yet it's combined with the thrill and excitement of what's to come. It's not always a graduating senior either, though. Maybe a younger student or even an older student. In fact, one of my aviation mentors lives by the saying, "A good pilot is always learning," and I believe that mindset can and should be applied to anyone in any field. So it can be an older student too, who may be working to discover their passion. That's okay too. In this poem, Douglas Malloch shares an encouraging message for all ages. Although we don't all hold prestigious jobs, we can all be the best at who we are. Our position in life doesn't make us any more or less valuable. In fact, the true beauty of this world is shown when each person does what they have been called to do and does it with great pride and joy. When we measure our success by the standards of this world, many of us will feel as though we've fallen short. Douglas Malloch reminds us that success is measured by being the best at whoever you are. Like many, he came from humble roots, but he used his gift of writing to touch the lives of many, many people. Be the best of whatever you are, by Douglas Malloch. If you can't be a pine on the top of the hill, be a scrub in the valley, but be the best little scrub by the side of the hill. Be a bush if you can't be a tree, and if you can't be a bush, be a bit of the grass, and some highway some happier make. If you can't be a muskie, then just be a bass, but the liveliest bass in all the lake. We can't all be captains, we've got to be crew. There's something for all of us here. There's big work to do and there's lesser to do, and the task we must do is the near. If you can't be a highway, then just be a trail. If you can't be the sun, be a star. It isn't by size that you win or you fail. Be the best of whatever you are.
It's been a few decades since I was the student in the nursery, elementary school, middle school, or high school. My spot in the virtual yearbook this year was as the high school youth advisor team lead. The kids call me Miss Cat. Some of our teens I've known since they were in my nursery class. Some of our teens I got to know better just this year. And I want First Unitarian at Large to know our teens are just wonderful people. Our graduating seniors are simply amazing. In helping the seniors with their worship project, I got to cry. I cried over Cammie, who used to be so shy she'd hide behind her mom. I cried when I saw her GA photo in UU World. I cried over Julie because I remember sewing her little Christmas pageant costumes. And then I cried again when I heard she chose UCF like I had so many years ago at her age. I cried seeing Katie in her glasses again because I forgot what that looked like. I cried over Trevor's curly hair because, oh my gosh, when did he become a young man? When you teach in children's religious education and serve as a youth advisor, these kids become your kids too. You join their parents in supporting them, investing in them, and in their growth. You invest in the future of our wider faith movement. They become your high-five pew buddies, and you root for them in the joys and concerns. I love those moments. It's my absolute favorite feeling. I call them the bittersweet sweets. I hope you graduates get to feel that sometimes too. You get to cry because you're sad something is ending. That's the part that's a little bitter. And at the same time, you get to cry because you're happy that something new is beginning. That part's kind of sweet. And then, in the bigger picture, you get to feel what some call joie de vivre, the joy of being alive, with an exultation of the spirit. That's the best part, the big sweet. Because to get to live juicy, you have to take it all. the fun and the not so fun and everything in between. To get to live life in full color, vivir con gusto, with brio. I hope your life has such moments to give it sparkle, because you just shine. My reading is Beyond Borders by Rick Hoyt. Go forth, because we are always going forth from somewhere. Going from our homes, our childhoods, going from our cities and countries, going from innocence to experience to enlightenment. Going into mystery and questions, going into the desert, getting to the other side. Go forth, leave behind the comfort of community of one place, head into the anxiety and loneliness of another. Carry with you the love and laughter of this place and let it light your way. Carry with you the wisdom you learned and the good memories. May they give you strength for your journey. And when you have been away long enough, far enough, done what you set off to do, been there so long that that place too starts to feel like home, come back. Come back to the one, universal, everywhere and ever when and everyone inclusive home. This beloved community of all creations that you can never really leave.
Thank you, Kat, and all. Our teens are indeed amazing, and we bless them in their journey toward their unfolding future. Helping me today to bless them, Allison and Sarah and I have a special bridging ceremony we'd like to share with you now. Today, we honor the youth among us, you who are stepping both away and toward. We share in your journey and your discovery. We celebrate your hopes and dreams.
Today, we applaud you for all you have been, all you are now, and for all you will be. As you cross this bridge, explore with wonder, we will support and nurture you, for you are the future.
As you cross this bridge, be patient and hopeful, and make choices that bless the world. We will support and nurture you, for you are amazing. You are an inspiration. We bless you on your journey across this bridge and all the thresholds of your lives.
From the light of days remembered burns a beacon bright and clear, guiding hands and hearts and spirits into faith set free from fear. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the stories of our living rings a song both brave and free, calling pilgrims still to witness to the life of liberty. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and hunger and our passion need to call us on our way. When we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. From the dreams of youthful vision comes a new prophetic voice, which demands a deeper justice built by our courageous choice. When the fire of commitment sets our mind and soul ablaze, when our hunger and our passion meet to call us on our way, when we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin.
Thank you, Aubrey. When we live with deep assurance of the flame that burns within, then our promise finds fulfillment and our future can begin. Here we extinguish the flame of our chalice, but not the flame within our hearts, as we say together. We extinguish the flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again.
For our benediction, we have a blessing for all the other students in the congregation, as well as adults who are hitting their milestones too, from those entering pre-K and kindergarten to those leaving elementary school and middle school, to adults learning for pleasure, for those seeking advanced degrees, or those learning in professional development, or maybe just thinking about pursuing or sharing the love of lifelong learning in a new way. I invite you all at home to please stand if your spirit moves you to do so, to receive your blessing. Hear the words from Maureen Killeran. As you step forward into your next chapter, we send you with our fondest hopes and blessings. May life bring enough challenge to fuel your dreams, enough affirmation to honor your gifts, and enough nurture to give your spirit peace. Believe in your vision, follow your dreams, and you know always that when you return to us, here you will find the hands of friends.
Spirit of life, come unto me. Sing in my heart all the stirrings of compassion. Blow in the wind, rise in the sea, move in the hand, giving life the shape of justice.